So we just got a new episode of The Grind, the blog posts that are published once a month by the developers of the new Skate game, and that keeps us updated about Skate and its development. And this time the devs are mainly focused on what has changed with the latest major update of the playtests, and as usual they're also answering some questions of the community, which is normally the more interesting part. So we're gonna go over everything that is important and also interesting here in this video, but if you want to read through the full post yourself, you can also find a link to it in the description below. But before we get into it, a little reminder that the signups for the playtests are closed now, so if you haven't signed up yet, you won't have a chance to play the game until it launches into early access later this summer. But if you did sign up before June 27th, you either already got an invite to the playtest or you will still get one, because they're sending them out in waves every Tuesday, which means if you didn't get an invite yet, you should still receive one, because eventually everyone who ever signed up for playtesting will get an invite to this playtest. At least that's the goal. So don't forget to check your spam folders as well, because sometimes these mails end up there. And once you're in, you can also play until the launch of early access. However, the playtest and its content is still under NDA, because I got this question a few times in my comments. So if you're in the playtest, you're still not allowed to record or share any gameplay, and you're also not allowed to talk about what you're playing on social media or somewhere else. But in the new blog post, they're also writing that we will get news regarding this topic in the next episode of The Grind, which should be somewhere between 3 to 4 weeks from now. So maybe they will drop the NDA soon, and then playtesters will be able to share their content and also share their opinion about the game without the risk of getting kicked from the playtest. But for now, everything is still under NDA. So what they're sharing with us in the new episode of The Grind is a first official look at the map of the game, San Amsterdam, even though I think we've all seen it in the gameplay already that some content creators were allowed to share last week. Now, the devs are writing that San Amsterdam is a growing and evolving city, and that they're bringing citywide events, new activities, and seasonal celebrations with every new season. So Skate is a live service game, which I think everyone knows as well by now, and at least from what they're writing, it sounds like they have a plan and a roadmap for this live service, which is a good start. How much content we will get, and if this content will keep players engaged and will keep them coming back to the game, that's a different topic, and that remains to be seen, because that's usually one of the pitfalls of live service games, and yeah, it remains to be seen if Skate can avoid them. For now, the city has 4 parts, or 4 neighborhoods as they call it, which is Hedgemont, Goldcrest, Market Mile, and Brixwich. But during one of the boardroom episodes that we got in the first, I think, 3 years after the reveal of the game, the devs also said they will add new parts to the city during the game's live service, so it will probably grow over the years, at least if this is still the plan. However, when you get into the playtest and you start playing, you will begin in Hedgemont, where you get your first missions and challenges, learn tricks and how the controls work, and you also get introduced to the story and a few of the characters. And when you've completed enough challenges and missions there, you move on to Goldcrest Village, and then from there to Market Mile and to Brixwich. And each of these parts of the city has different spots to discover and a different focus and style and design. Now, when we were watching the gameplay that some content creators published, the city looked a bit empty and lifeless, at least to me. But since we're still in alpha, I think that this will still change, probably already with the next update, and that they will bring some more life to it. It would be a shame if they didn't. But the devs always emphasize that they're working on it, and the city is only one part of this, and they're basically working on everything. In the blog post, they specifically mention that they're working on the world, the sound, the narrative, the UI, which I think doesn't even look that bad for an alpha, and also the character design. So they are definitely changing over time, and they also mention that they're working on bringing voice chat to the game so that you can directly talk to the people you skate with, because that is not possible now. So I think we probably have to be patient and see what this game will evolve into in a few months or maybe a year from now. But that was it for the development update part of the blog. Now we're heading into the Q&A, where they answer questions from the community. And like I said before, this is usually the more interesting part. And the first question here is if there will still be a story or a campaign mode. Because from everything we know so far, Skate will be online only and will be multiplayer only, and that of course raises the question if there will be a story or campaign mode. We already know that there will not be an offline mode, so this was answered in a former The Grind episode, so this is not part of this question here anymore. And to this specific question right here with the story or the campaign mode, they're writing that the story of Skate at launch is focused around teaching players how to skate and how to make the most of their time in San Amsterdam. So at this point it's probably more focused on new players. But they're also saying that this is only the intro, so kind of the prologue, and that the story will evolve and continue over time. So I'm guessing they will add new parts to the story with every season, which is kind of what EA is doing with Apex Legends as well. Then the next question is aimed at the replay editor and if it will have the same features that it had in former games. And the replay editor, of course, is important in a skate game, and it's also important that it has as many features as possible. And here they're writing that the editor doesn't have all the features yet, but that it will also be expanded throughout the live service of the game. Right now it has scrubbing, multiple camera angles, exporting video and screenshots, export of settings, and disabling the HUD. So there are still a few things missing here, and it sounds like we have to live with a lot of basic features in general, not only in the editor but in the game in general, when it launches into early access, and that these are planned to be released at some point during the game's live service. Because I also heard that some tricks are missing, for example like dark slides, and I really hope that they will bring those back as well during the live service. And another feature that will also not be available at launch but is planned for later are player hosted servers. So we will only be able to play on official servers at the beginning, and you will not be able to have sessions only for yourself or for your friends. One good thing though is that when you're playing on console, you won't need PS Plus or Xbox Game Pass Core to play the game, because since it's free to play, these subscriptions are not required, because they're not required for free to play games in general. For PC players, this is not a topic at all, of course. Something that might be interesting for PC players though is the question if the game will be available on Mac OS, Steam OS, so Steam Deck, or Linux. And here the same answer as before actually. At early access launch, the game will not be available for these systems, but they're trying to make it available at a later time. When this will happen, however, remains to be seen. And yeah, that was it for today. That was everything we got in this new blog post, The Grind episode 4. Link to it, like I said in the beginning, is in the description below. And if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to drop a like and subscribe. And as usual, tell me what you think about all of this in the comments below. Until then, I'm gonna see you in the next one. Bye bye!